Yeah.
Good evening, Southern Fried Podcast fans and Cornbread Nation. We're glad to have you here on
You,
this Monday night.
you
And
almost said good morning, by the way. Don't
well,
think I didn't catch that.
it wasn't probably because I was thinking that we were on this morning and now we're back, and so we may have some folks that joins us for both shows. So I started to say, if you were with us this morning, we're back again. And any
You
new
don't want to
listeners,
back people up and make them do Monday all over again. That's not nice. You got to
yeah,
be nice. You need
we
some
got
nice.
we got Monday out of the way, or unless somebody's working right now and they're out on the job and they're like, what are these two crazy guys about? We got some cornbread on the screen. I see American flag and some guy drinking coffee and another crazy guy. What are y'all about? Well, the Cornbread Nation, we stand on our 6 pillars, which is faith. We stand on our faith, our family, our friends, freedom. We like our foods, and we like having some good, clean fun. So that's the Cornbread Nation, and we're growing. We got the Facebook. We're on all the social streams, but also on Facebook, we got the Cornbread Nation site that
Yeah.
people are joining up on, and we'll keep everybody updated with the goings on that we have.
Yeah.
And I don't think I mentioned it this morning, but I want to get it in real quick. Is that we are now on Apple Podcast. We've just started that. It's been something we've been working on, a lot of work behind the scenes, and we're very pleased with that. It looks great, sounds great. Of course, with that it's audio, which is a whole different experience. Robert, I listened to one of our shows today, and we have, well, at least I'll say, I have a face made for audio and not video. So on here, they're just stuck looking at me. So we try to we try to dress it up as good as we can with colors and everything else to hide us or me.
Us. Oh, you mean you? Oh, I know I'm good looking. Oh, Lord,
Beauty,
it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I'm sorry. I wasn't known for my singing voice.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and thank goodness some beholders are very kind.
Hey, I'll have you know, before I was born, God had my little soul up there in heaven. He was going to send me down to earth. And he said, now, Robert, I'm giving you 2 choices. You can either be extremely talented or extremely good looking. He said, you could choose. I said, well, dear Lord, I tell you, I'll take whatever you give me. But I think if I'd just rather just be good looking so I can just skate through life on my good looks. He said, there you go.
Well,
You're
I'm
supposed,
probably
you're
not.
supposed to reply to that.
I know, but I really, I want to have a good comment, and what was coming in my mind was not good. So
What was coming in your mind? Go ahead. Let's hear it.
I'll
It's
leave it
just
in
me
there.
and you and everybody else. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say something like, well, you might have been sitting down with that, but boy, that's all behind you now.
Mm.
But see, I was trying to be nice. You made me do it.
No, I didn't make you do nothing. No, you was already thinking it. You might as well just go ahead and say it.
Well, it just popped in there.
We ain't never stood on ceremony with each other before. Ain't no point starting now.
Well, I don't like to kick a man when he's down. It is Monday. I don't know what kind of day you've had since we last communicated this morning on the morning show, but to make sure
It
you had a
involves,
bad day.
guess what? Yes, take one guess as to what I was doing today.
Probably mowing.
Yeah.
That's
all I do.
That's a lot. That's a lot of mowing.
It is.
I saw a guy mowing as I was coming home from work, and I thought about you because he had a 0 turn, but he didn't have what you have to mow. In fact, he has such a little yard that really the 0 turn is wasted. Isn't it amazing how people will buy more of a machine than they need, which is fine. This is America, but isn't it amazing how people will do that and get a 0 turn for a postage stamp yard? I mean, basically that's what it is. It probably takes. It's probably only would take about 10 minutes with a 0 turn. He probably takes 20 just so he can play a little more. But you're just getting a couple of rows in 20 minutes. you got some long hauls,
dude. when I get out there on that thing, I go wide open. I go around stuff. I had some issues today, and I end up taking out part of the underpinning on the trailer. Had to put it back up. Uh, you know, and then I went to go under his tree branch, and you cannot one hand a zero turn mower hardly. If you go under branches, you got to push them branches up and try to drive this thing with one arm. It didn't work out right. Left my hat laying on the ground behind the mower somewhere. I had to get off the mower and go get that, come back, after the underpinning on the trailer. It was hot. I was hot. Mower was hot, but we got her done.
You got her done. Now you're here, and Mama Said. I just want to know one thing before we go into Mama Said. It's one of our our very original shows that we started with, as Mama Said. But when you're out there on that mower, I just wonder if are you singing? Are you singing to yourself? You don't sing.
No. Keep my mouth shut. I don't want no gnats in there.
Well, I thought you covered the mouth up. That way you could still sing.
Well, you can cover it up. I didn't say I always did.
If
they're getting really bad, I'll put them all the way up over the top of my nose if they're getting really bad. But, that thing's hot too, and you sweat, and the air on it kind of cools it off a little bit. But it's been so stinking hot lately. I just been wearing it over my neck, my ears.
Yeah.
These old ball caps, they're great. I love them, but they don't protect your ears for nothing. And something like that will protect your ears. And I had the doctor tell me, he said, you want to watch them ears, you don't want to get no cancer on them. So cover them up.
Cover them up. Yeah, you gotta protect your skin, and especially those areas that get nailed like that.
But here's my dilemma. Okay, now here in a couple weekends, not this weekend coming up, but the next one, I'm going to the Redneck Riviera, Panama City.
The Redneck Riviera. I cannot wait till you're there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to send some pictures back.
Well, I'm hoping you'll come in live,
yeah. But if you can imagine me with my gnat stocking on, covered up my ears so they don't get sunburnt down there at the beach. Yeah, they go in with them old men's bikini swim trunks and cowboy boots.
No, don't do it, Rob. Don't do it, man. You're gonna be somebody's video if you do that.
I'm gonna be on my video. Live.
Cornbread Nation showing up loud and proud,
That's
huh?
Right. That's
Redneck
right.
Riviera.
I might even shave my legs for this.
TMI, man. I don't want to hear no more.
Okay, I won't shave. I'll just leave the hairy things hanging out. See if I do.
Okay. We got to get to Mama Said, but I can't help it. I just see you going to. You said you go down to Tallahassee or somewhere in there and get, or where is it you go when you go to the beach?
Panama City.
Panama City. I'm sorry. So you go to Panama City. There's got to be some locals that look up and go, "Man, these out of towners."
Either that or he's back. Dadgummit.
he's back. Oh, oh man! I just wonder if they can pinpoint what state you're from, because you'll see pictures online sometimes, and they'll say what state do you figure this guy's from or this family or whatever. It's kind of funny, it's kind of hilarious.
They see me come in with that men's bikini swim trunks and cowboy boots. I go, Georgia.
I'm thinking Alabama, dude.
What?
Oh, don't have no Georgia stuff on there, man. I don't want to. We got to represent, man. We got to represent the team, man. Come on.
On the left side, I'm gonna have Kirby, and on the right side, I'm gonna have Smart. On the back.
Oh, what a sight to behold! All right, folks, we're going to get in our program. Mama Said. We love to talk about things that Mama said. This is a first for our Mama Said, though. Mama said a lot of things, and we're glad because it gives us endless amounts of shows to do about those things that Mama said. We've talked about several. We have several episodes in this. But tonight is something that Mama said. But I don't know how you would spell it. You'll just have to demonstrate what Mama said. And you learned this very early in your life. I mean, from the smallest of a child, you learned that Mama said, go, Robert. Do that again. That was kind of weak.
that
Yeah. So,
means stop.
so, so you're, yeah. And you can see a little kid, the first time they learn this. I mean, they're reaching for something they're not supposed to touch or get or whatever. And the
Usually the
very
light
first,
socket.
well, yeah,
Your
well,
electrical outlet.
that was in our day, Robert. We're supposed to cover those nowadays so the children doesn't have to do that. But in our day, when we were children, there was no covers over those things, and we had the old butter knife or something. And we were headed right toward it. We were learning to work on things even as little boys. We were figuring out how to stick that in there. So, you'd hear your mama say that. But the look on a child's face when they say that is like they don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. They just kind of jump like I'm busted. Like what do I do? And you can see that. And sometimes for the hard-headed kids, they'll go ahead and try to do it again, and they get it again.
Or they get. I don't know how they do it. As they're running toward you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's an emergency. They're trying to get there, trying to take the thing away from you or whatever it is that's going to hurt you. Or you pick up something, you're going to put it in your mouth or whatever, and they're on top of it. They make that sound, and the kid just learned. They kind of shake. Like what's going on? This is a whole new thing, and and sometimes kids will get mad. Like you take something out of their hand, they'll pitch a little fit. Like they get mad. Like, hey, wait a minute, that was mine. So now they associate that with I'm not supposed to do something, and I lose something sometimes. Kids they got a pretty good grip. You have to get those fingers open to get something they found and picked up, and they're going to put it in their mouth, and you make that sound, and they sort of freeze, and you get over there, and you have to. It's like they don't want to give it up, and they'll start pitching a fit. Some of them will, and you have to battle that. Like they don't give up.
It's like Uncle Jeb up the road there. He's talking about, I can have my gum when they pry my cold, dead fingers out from around it. And that kid could be running toward the electrical outlet with a butter knife. Mama go, run over and grab it. And he's like, no, you wrap my cold, dead fingers from around it. I could see it.
And I wonder, we live in the South, and I wonder if this is like universal. Is there some British mother, does that sound like across the world, like Sweden, up in Canada, to the north of us?
Let's see if we can do it in a different accent.
It ain't working.
No, it don't work. I bet it's universal.
There's only one way to really do that.
Yeah. Hey, who teaches mothers how to do that? That can't.
Where to start? Who is the person? Who is the first mom? Well, maybe it was Eve. I don't know. Maybe Eve did that. I mean, it has to go all the way back. I mean, every mother I've ever met has some sort of sound like that. Where they stop their child from doing something like that.
I've got a mental. You just hit me with a mental image.
Oh Lord, that's scary.
Eve went and ate forbidden fruit, right? Her and Adam. And she gave part of it to Adam. Did she go back to get another one? And God went, this is after he's done got onto him. And he went back. Well, she reached up.
Well, he kicked him out. I don't think God did that. He kicked him out of the garden. But who knows? I don't know how that happened.
On the way out the garden.
But it might, I mean, as they reached for things that weren't good for them, I mean, because that was how they learned. There's some things you just can't do. We were told not to do it, and we did it. So maybe after the garden, maybe, we don't know, maybe with their kids, maybe he did that, like, stop. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's another one. The false, like, oh, you can have that. I mean, it's like at first they think it's something you're not supposed to have, and you get done that way, and then they go, "Oh, that's okay, baby. I thought you had something wrong." And they got a cracker in their hand or something, but they from a distance they thought it was, they thought it was a crayon. Yeah. Well, they might have thought it was a crayon. Actually, had a cracker. They're like, "Oh, okay, you can do that." So then you're like confused, like, "Wait a minute, I thought this was like when I was in trouble and I can't have stuff, and you're taking it away from me, but now." You're getting on to me,
It's
but I
all
can
good.
keep it. This is a conflicting message, because babies are real smart. They're figuring all this stuff out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All the signals are going in. Mom signals and dads, they do different. I mean, they may do that, but I think it's more mom. But we're talking about mama said. And I have found, Robert, again, today's my oldest child's birthday. Wished him a happy birthday on this morning's show. And then I went to work, and we worked same place, and was able to tell him, happy birthday. And he's had a good day. So 2 kids, raised them. I know what happened with them. And then the grandkids, I know what happened there. I just discovered it works with another I didn't think about this until, because we haven't had one in such a long time. But my granddaughter, she has her little dog now, the rescue we got. It works on dogs too. I've done that. I found myself doing that with a dog. It's like looking like it's wanting to get into something that it shouldn't, and I've done that. It cracks me up. I'll do it, and the dog will stop and look at me, like. And
They're
sometimes,
called
just like I said,
fur babies.
yeah,
Fur babies.
but just like I said with
You're
the
a fur
little
dad.
kid, them trying to go a second time. Well, guess what? The dog did too. And then it becomes, you got to put the double in there. That's like amped up. It's and then.
I wonder, it seems like, for young children and pets, because it works on cats too. They'll freeze and like, what'd you say? Or like, were you talking to me?
Yeah,
I know you wasn't talking to me.
They
I
freeze
wonder
with
if
an
it would work
attitude.
on like these lower intelligence type people or animals, like I wonder if it would work on politicians.
No, it don't work.
Have you ever tried? I think we ought to raise taxes.
I can just
I
see
think
you.
the middle class needs to pay more, and we
I
need
can
to
just
cause
see you at a
inflation to go up some more.
I can just see it's a county commission. They're up there presenting their tax plan or whatever, and several people in the audience did that. Then they're like, "What just happened?" They'd probably say, "Well, you got it. Hey, you got to be on the. Nowadays you got to be on the list. You have to tell us 48 hours ahead of time, and we got to know what your topic is. I mean, how would you list your topic of what you wanted to do?" To rebut what they want to do. Say, they don't want any surprises the night of the commission meeting. They stopped all that.
No. So what you do is you list your name and representing the Cornbread Nation.
Okay, I could go with it.
All right, and then when you go in there, to hear about the new tax plan or whatever, and maybe make some comments. And when they call you up there, you look at them and go.
That probably has the officer to escort you out. You're having some sort of a problem. Well, excuse me, what was that? Was that a word?
When they grab you, that's when you do hit them with the double.
But the lady commissioner, she would say, "I understand it." He means no. He doesn't. Well, he's not for the tax increase.
Yes.
Isn't a they do stuff like that and you go rebut, but it's they're going to do it anyway. That's depressing.
It is, but hey, have some fun with it. We might as well at this point.
Cornbread Nation in the house, Yeah.
Hey, let's make this a nationwide thing, y'all. When you go to your county, and I recommend going to at least one because they're awfully
absolutely
fun. When you go in there and they do something you don't like, go. They'll know Cornbread Nation's in the house.
I hear them hit the gavel down. There'll be no comments or sounds made from the audience. Robert's Rules of Order. Is that sound in Robert's Rules of Order? I don't think so.
Now, if we're going by my rules of order, you better put that gavel down. Excuse me.
I have, and just to go back to that, I have seen adults do that to other adults, and Robert, it doesn't go over real well. No. I've seen people get mad because they would even say, "Did you just do what I think you did?" They get mad.
Don't me no more.
That's pretty much it. But I have seen that. It's like I think it's just an automatic reflex, like there's something going on
No,
with it.
no, I've done it just to see the reaction I would get. You know, quit it. I know you
Well,
just ate me.
well, I gotta tell you, because we did the morning funny for Friday and all that. When my son went to go get the bacon before the breakfast was all done, and he wanted to grab that piece of bacon.
Yeah,
Guess what? That's exactly what I did.
you ant your baby boy.
I
Oh
did,
my
and he
goodness.
looks back at me like, "What?" He's like, "The bacon." I'm like, "Put it back, big boy. Not till we're done. Not till it's all finished." He was talking about that this morning. He was or this afternoon. He was getting his
He
mama to
wanted a
agree
hot
with him.
piece of bacon.
He
He
said, "If
wanted a
you,"
warm piece, not a cold piece, a warm piece. You denied your son a warm piece of bacon.
he
For
said,
shame,
he,
for
he
shame.
said, "Mama, if you were making bacon, you'd cook a whole extra half a pound just so make sure that we had enough in case I wanted a piece of bacon." And she said, "Oh yeah, you're my baby boy." And I said, "Well, that may be, but nevertheless, Dad was cooking breakfast that morning, and Dad said no."
Yeah.
but it
Oh,
but it was
oh,
it was
oh. He must not. He's his mom's baby boy, but must not be his dad's baby boy. That's what it is. You're trying to kick him out of. Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, not giving that poor baby a warm piece of bacon.
it's really an interesting dynamic. My youngest son and his mama are a lot alike in many many ways. Me and my oldest son are a lot alike, but it's kind of 50-50 right now. But traditionally, the oldest son, he spends all the time with his mom. They go out to eat everywhere. It's they. I don't care to go out that much for reasons I've discussed. But I'll go occasionally. But
Because you're
the,
crotchety old coot.
no, 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 I don't like.
You are crotchety old coot. Come on.
I don't care to deal with the modern experience, doesn't it? When you eat out, we're getting away from this for a little bit, but when you eat out, the experience is part of the dynamic, not just the food. And the
Yeah.
experience can either increase how that food tastes to you, or it can just take it to the sewer. And
Yeah.
nowadays, a lot of those experiences are not real good. I just don't
Because
need it.
you're gotten to be a crotchety old man.
I'm not old, man. The dude said elderly, not old. Come on.
Okay, you're a crotchety elderly citizen person, and you just can't stand when it doesn't go your way. You just you're like the I always said I want to live long enough to burden my children. I want to be sitting on the front porch in my boxer shorts with snuff dribbling down the corner of my mouth
I mean,
and shooting the neighborhood kids with a BB gun.
yeah,
That's what
you
I want from my kids' front porch. You know, and
dad's at
that's
it
where I
again.
want to be one day, huh?
No, I said, Dad's at it again. Not me, man.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where you're at. You're
No,
about
no, no,
you're about you're about 10 minutes away from that.
no, 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 not me. I wouldn't do that. But I do have a new definition of old. I was at
Yeah.
church Sunday, and we've been because one of the ladies sung the good old song "Never Grow Old." I mean, I love that song. When we get to heaven, never grow old. And so I was tempted in the service. I wanted to ask, just something lighthearted in between, but I didn't. We went on and finished our service. But after the service, I don't even know what brought it up. One of the ladies was talking to somebody about being old. And she said that, you're old. Of course, I perked my ears up like, this is wisdom. What? You're one of the ladies of the church. You're old. Here's the definition. When you fall down, and they don't laugh anymore when you fall down, they're concerned about you, you're old. If you can fall down and they think it's funny, you're not old. But if you fall down and they're like, oh my goodness, brother or sister so-and-so's fell down, let's just check on them, you're officially old.
You're close. Like I said, about 10 minutes. I hate to tell you that. About 10 minutes.
I'm a young guy, man. I'm young at heart.
Well,
Living life and having fun.
I'm not going to go along with that description of old. Okay, I'm not.
I'm just saying that was
I'm
what
not
one of the
going along with
ladies
that.
said. And
just no.
it's always they. And she said, well, they say. So I wanted to hear what they had to say. I don't know who they are, but it's always they. They say.
Yeah. Well,
That's when you're old.
they are a bunch of buttholes usually. Yeah, I want you to keep that in mind. They,
What?
they.
That's
Uh-uh.
what
They
happens when
say
the
you ought to do this and ought to do that. They say you ought to vote for this person or vote for that person. They say, I don't care what they say. I'm more
they
concerned about what I can figure out. Not
they is
saying that
what
I
you
don't
get
vote
when
for
the they is what you get when the supervisor comes out and tells you something you got to do and you don't like it, and they said, "Well, that's what they said." I mean,
yeah.
it's deflection, total deflection off of themselves. It's not. I need you. I'm asking you to do this, or you got to do it. It's well, they said it. It's not me. It's they. Who's they?
I have called one or two out on that. One specifically that you know about, and well, they said, and I said, oh, horse hockey. That's not what they said. That's what you said. I even
Just
threw the
man,
horse hockey in there, huh?
just man up and own it. Right? It's
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
It's me. It's me. It's Ernest T.
yeah.
So
I,
to our moms out there, I would be curious. Nobody has come in the chat yet, but anybody viewing or later when you see this, send us a note.
well, we
I'd be
got.
curious to
Hey,
know who we do. I'm just saying they hadn't chatted, but who? I wonder if this is something that you do as well. Like there's a sound you make or something like that, or is that maybe that's just us. I don't. maybe,
if
I,
you,
if you're from another country, if you're from another, I mean, a faraway place from where we are here in Georgia of the United States of America, I'd be interested to know if that's universal, if that's something that happens all over. I'm curious. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. I can make an assumption, but that might be wrong.
I do wonder now what the mothers in the other countries say, like Australia. Good day.
I don't think that's what they say, Robert. I just got to tell you now, you're killing it with your ability to speak in foreign accents. Not
Okay.
what the South Georgia is overriding your ability to even try that. I'm not good
Dude,
at it either. But dude, if don't try to be an actor because I don't. You poke fun at our old boy about his southern accent that was in the movie, but dude,
yeah,
it's just as bad for the guy with a southern accent to try to do Australian or
dude,
something. Man, come on.
dude. The funniest thing I have ever heard in my life. There is a Chinese restaurant in Colquitt, Georgia, that's ran by actual Chinese people. And the girl,
As opposed to non-actual Chinese people, or
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, the mom
literally.
and daddy, they're from actually from China, and they speak
Okay.
Chinese. And that's what I mean, and not like American Chinese. They're just Americans, in my opinion.
Oh, they're
But
they're they're native to China. They from China.
yes,
Do they
yes,
speak English as well?
yes,
Okay.
yes, they do. And the mom's a hoot. Oh, she's a hoot. She'd be like, "Are you done? You pay? Good. Get out." Yeah, she's a hoot, and
Next.
she's good. She's smiling and laughing, but
Yeah.
she's got a sense of humor. It's great. Well, her daughter went to the high school here in Colquitt, Miller County High School, same high school I went to,
Well, I bet that was a
and
culture shock.
yeah, but when we walked in there, she said, "Do y'all want a glass of tea?" And I'm gonna tell you something. The most beautiful Southern accent came out of this girl, this Chinese girl, in perfect English. Do y'all want a glass of tea? And then she got to talking to somebody on the phone in Chinese, and they said, "Yeah." And she was speaking Chinese with a Southern accent. It was the
I,
most amazing thing I'd ever heard. And her
well,
mom
I've
kept
seen
saying,
it.
"Y'all can't ever go back to China with her." She said, "No, it okay. We from South China."
So, I worked with a dear sweet lady from had came over from Vietnam, and she could speak English, but it was like I would be if I went to Vietnam. It's just you just do the best you can, and she did okay, but her son he came to work there, and I don't know what I was expecting to hear, but I remember he come in as a new guy. He's going to be a trainee with us, and I went up to talk to him, ask just learn about him and see how he's doing everything. Same thing, man. Like he sound like South. We say Lafette around here. I mean, Oh my goodness! And I said, I thought, man, where have you been? I guess they lived around the plant there pretty close, and he had picked up. He had by the way, he had a better Southern accent than some people that had been born here. I mean, he was born here, and that's why he picked it up. But I'm saying he had a better one, and people, I guarantee, he shocked people. He shocked people wherever he went because his was better than a lot of people's I'd heard. I said, man, your accents are is just amazing. It's crazy, how Southern you sound. I mean, you're more than me, and he just smiled. He's a great guy. I got a couple of kids now. It's fun to watch them grow up and you work with them and they, you get to see that. And then, their children are just going to be more and more Americanized. I mean, that's what happens when you go into, and the children, they get more in the schools and around the, the culture and the fads and all that stuff. And but that is funny. I like that.
Yeah. Oh,
So go ahead.
Jump back to that mama said for just a second. She didn't just say, eh. There was a secondary thing with that too, a lot of times.
Okay.
Smacking her hands together. Did you ever?
Oh, well, yeah. That's to make, give them, several sounds, and I guess probably the hands would be like, you just get your butt tore up, or somebody's, some people might not, but I can tell you as a little boy, I had my hands smacked.
What?
Oh yeah.
I didn't have my hand smacked. I had the back of my head smacked. Y'all think we're joking about this? We've made some comments about my flat back of the head here.
Oh yeah.
There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. So yeah, you get your hands smacked, and so you learn that. It's not hard, but you'll just tap it and they'll cry and cry and cry, and then they'll get mad. Then they get mad. The ones that's real feisty, they'll get mad. They'll say no. By the way, little kids, they use those words back on you too. Have you ever seen the little kid do the sound back to the mom?
Oh yeah.
They'll do it and the kid does it back. Oh, that don't go over good either. A little back talk there from the little kid.
Take a toy away from them and they go.
Yeah. It's like you think you're going to do that? Yeah, let's see where that goes. Yeah, let's see how good you do with that.
Yeah, and all the dads are sitting back going, waiting to watch the show because we know it's going to be a show.
I wonder if husbands and wives do that. Do they give them the sound, like that? They go to reach for the remote, because the remote can be fought over in some families,
It's not really fought over here much. We don't watch a whole lot of TV. And generally, if I watch TV, I watch during the day while Jenny's at work. She really don't like to watch it that much, and I really don't care to watch too much of it. But probably over the alarm clock, maybe. Like if my alarm goes off in the morning too early, and she don't go, eh. You get a,
I'm totally lost on this. I've never heard of fighting over the alarm clock. You're going to have to describe that. What do you mean fighting over what time it's set for, or who controls the snooze? I mean,
if you hit the snooze too many times. Now, see, I can sleep right through an alarm or a snooze. It don't bother me unless it's a constant thing. If it just goes for a little while and stops, I'll ignore it. But you wake up your wife with an alarm set too early. Like, say, I went fishing this morning and I had my alarm set for 3:30. Okay. And I forgot to turn it off. And we were laying in bed like in the morning, the next day, and the next morning, the alarm goes off at 3:30. Now, I had a perfectly good reason for it to go off yesterday, but that's just a bunch of nonsense today. That's how that happens. And I'm sure you have done that. I'm sure that's happened to you. You've probably woken your wife up before with an alarm set too early from the day before, and you forgot to turn off.
No, actually, I usually, if I'm usually pretty good about getting up, but if I'm setting an alarm nowadays, it's the cell phone. I just set an alarm, but as far as leaving one on, no, usually I just tell my wife that make sure I'm up, in case it would be I'd have to be really tired or feeling bad to sleep through an alarm because I'm a light sleeper. But I would just say if I had real important meeting early in the morning, earlier than usual, it kind of throws my routine off. I would just say, make sure I'm up. So she would set the clock as a secondary to mine. I've got this one set because you set another one. So that hasn't never really been a problem.
Okay.
I'll tell you what kills me is people and who sleep through every one, and they're in another room, and their phone's going off, and it's really loud, and you can hear it go off, and then you hear it again, and you hear it again, and you hear it again, and it's like you have to get up and wake them up and turn it off. I guess that's what they're banking on. Like, well, they'll come and get me up if they hear it too many times. That kind of drives me crazy. Or I love my son, but with my son, he's here right now with us. He goes to sleep. He could sleep through an earthquake, a freight train coming through the house, and people will call him. They'll call him. He works nights, so he's sleeping there today, and they'll start calling, and I just turn it off because he don't ever hear it. I have seen him wake up, pick up the phone, say hello, and fall right back to sleep with the phone on his ear, like hello, and he's just out. And I can hear him talking away. And they don't hear. He's not hearing none of it.
See, I often wonder about stuff like that. I think I could do that if I was tired enough. I think I could, in my sleep good enough to get through the conversation if I was tired enough. I'm pretty sure I could.
Do your cats wake you up?
No.
I had a boss.
We have a standing policy in this house, and the cats hate it. The cats are not allowed in our bedroom.
Okay.
Period.
Poor cats.
And they'll sit outside the door and growl and meow and everything. They don't go in there.
Poor little cats.
Huh? You mean poor little cats?
Man, we got them locked out.
Look, we lock them out of the guest bedroom too, and they get mad about that because there's a closed door they can't go in. That's all right though, because that way, like getting ready in the morning, my wife getting ready to go to work, she works at the bank, she wants to dress nice and look neat. She has a little cat hair all over her, and then it's a race when she comes out of the room because we have a long-haired cat, and he loves her to death. The first thing he wants to do is just rub right up on her, and so she's dogging him every morning, and then the other one's Chuck, he's trying to do it too because he learns everything from Roscoe, the long hair. But Chuck is orange. That really stands out on nice dress likes. So she's dogging cat. It's like walking tiptoeing through a minefield in here for her.
I had a manager once, and they had a indoor cat. It was indoor only, had been declawed, and it's a good thing because it drove him crazy. He was a 6 a.m. in the morning get up guy. Or really a little bit before that, but if he had hit snooze or something, I think he probably had it set a little bit before that. But if that's what it was. If he wasn't up by 6, I don't know how the cat just knew this. If he wasn't up by 6, the cat would sit on his chest and take its paws and just hit his nose until he woke up.
He probably saw his wife doing that.
He said, man, it makes me mad. He said, I said, well, it gets you up, don't it? He goes, yeah, it gets me up. I don't like the cat hit me in the nose.
Close the door. It's an easy problem to fix. Close the door.
Well, here's the problem. Mama said cat gets to come in the bedroom and sleep. So he was outnumbered.
Oh.
How many cats you have that are female?
2.
Okay, well, it's equal. Y'all have 2 boys, 2 girls, right?
Yep.
So it's equal. So you got an equal vote. You can't outvote each other. Right. It was just him, the only boy, and then his wife and the female cat. So he was outvoted.
Oh no!
She cast the cat vote.
There's only 3 votes that really count, and that's the mama vote and the daddy vote. The kitty cat's votes don't really count. No.
I bet you if we put a poll up, I guarantee you there's some people that would say the fur babies get a vote.
Okay. All right. We got 10
I guarantee you.
X right now. We got 10 viewers. Y'all come in, y'all chat, y'all let us know. Do cats get to vote on whether or not they sleep in the bedroom?
Or a dog.
Or not.
Don't limit the dog. So do the dog and the cat, do they get Do they get a
Look,
vote?
that's a little different rule of the dogs.
A little different rule.
Dogs are a
Oh,
different rule.
dogs a
Huh?
different rule. I
Yeah.
don't know all this animal etiquette. I figured it'd be
Yeah.
the same.
Well, you could put a pillar down on the floor and they could lay on the pillar. The dogs can. The cats won't.
It
Cats will be
reminds
right
me
up
of
in
that.
the bed.
What was the James Belushi Canine? Was that it? Where the dog? That wasn't Canine. What was the one where the dog went to sleep
Yeah.
with him? And he didn't want the dog there, but she did. He was giving
Oh,
that dog the look like you're in trouble.
yeah. It was the one that
What was the
they
name of
said
that
a
one?
scratchy dog or whatever, police dog. That was
Yeah,
canine.
the
That was
Canine.
dog
Okay,
was
yeah,
grouchy.
Canine. Okay, I thought it was anyway.
And then
It
the
cracked
one
me
with
up.
there was also one with Hanks,
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch. That
Yeah,
was a good.
great movie.
Yes. That whole shaking thing, and slobber just going everywhere. I loved it. I,
And
I don't know
the
if my
dog.
wife has seen that movie or not, but that would make her cringe. She'd be like, ew.
Ooh, it did me. That and then he tore up like all of his stuff, his speaker. I mean, he just had a field day, and he goes and grabs the gun or something. The dog takes off. Then he feels bad, and he's looking for the dog. Oh man, that dog was was a beast.
Hey, Dave, let's run a real quick commercial.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do an ARA real quick.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll be right back.
Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. One of the favorite things that we do is sit out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea and just talk about whatever. That's what you do on the front porch. Wave at the neighbors as they go by, or even a stranger. We're friendly people, and we like to just talk about whatever. You never know what Rob and Dave are going to talk about on the front porch, and sometimes Chris joins us, and then you really don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll laugh a little bit, we'll shock each other, and maybe, just maybe, you'll join in with us and chat with us on the front porch. Join us live for Front Porch Talking each Friday night at 7 p.m. That's your friends here at the Southern Fried Podcast. Hey, here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we've got a new morning show. Well, it's actually the same show, but we added a day. We're now on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6 a.m., and we go till about 7, maybe a little after if we're having a really good show, and we just want to keep it going for a few minutes, but it's usually about 6 to 7. We hope you join us. And as our tagline says, nobody really wants to get up, but since you're up, grab a cup of coffee and join us. hopefully we can get you started on your day talking about a little bit of sports or news, have a little laughter. Everybody needs that in the morning, along with that caffeine. And hey, we're trying to get you awake. You might be trying to get us awake. So join in the chat. Let us know what's going on. Sometimes our best programs are from the chats that people tell us some things that are going on, or remind us of some things, or correct us on some things. Hey, all the above. We hope you join us on the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Have a great day in Dixie, and God bless. And we're back. Glad to have you with us. Thank you to all of our ex-viewers that are in here, and we appreciate that. It's good to have you. It's a night at we're approaching that time when X is going to just shake, and there's going to be an explosion of viewers for Elon's thing with interview with former President Trump. I think that's at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, something like that. Be interested to see that and hear some of the comments. Just interesting times we're in, but it's good to have you here. It's good to have you viewers. Another thing I want to mention is we've had some people submit some. We do with ARA. We do pets of the week twice, Rob. We do cats one day and dogs on the next.
Yeah, we do puppy dogs on Wednesdays and kitty cats on Saturday.
They're they're wonderful, great folks.
And they're not just folks like. I've seen they put out posts for lost dogs and everything else, and it's great. And I always try to share those on ours too, in case anybody local here is watching or sees it, and they can spread the word. I mean, but they do important, and I really believe in the work they're doing. They're doing important stuff. They're no kill, so no animal that goes there has to worry about you don't have to worry about it being killed. It's not going to happen. All right, if they have to keep it from now on, they have to keep it from now on, which means that they're limited on the amount of pets that they can take in. But they really focus on working with the animals and trying to get them into a home.
Yeah, they have a dog named Fern that we've highlighted, and I think Fern's still there. Yeah. And I would love to see Fern get a forever home. And then on Saturday we have the Veteran of the Week that we honor veterans. If you have a veteran you'd like to honor, you see the email, send us a story, their service record, so to speak. And if you want a picture, be great. And we'll honor them. We do that. We've had ones already submitted for this week. We'll do several, though. It's not just about the one. We'll do several. And we want to thank our service members and sacrifice they've made for freedom. You'll see we're very patriotic. We're conservative. We love the United States of America. And
if
Robert, if you're the veteran. Yeah, absolutely.
We want to honor you.
We want to honor that service, so we appreciate it, and
it's important. It's important not only for your service, the service that you gave. It's important that we as a nation and country recognize the service that you gave. I mean, it's important, and it matters, and it made a difference. And I know there's a lot of issues going on right now with veterans. That they're having a lot of issues. They don't feel like nobody cares about them. They don't feel like they're being taken care of the way they should. And I'll agree with you. You're not. But if you're having issues and you went through when you were in service, I don't care what generation you're from, there's help to be had. Yes. And contact your local veterans center, and they will put you in touch with the help you need. Because I'm not, you don't, going into glory details or nothing like that, but some of our veterans, you poor gentlemen, had went through a rough time. There's no doubt, and reach out for it, please.
When we were young, patriotism was instilled into us from the earliest of age, from our parents, our family, our church, school, everywhere we turned. It was all about waving the flags, saying the pledge, saluting the flag. It was, and I'm not saying it's not a big deal. It still is, but it's not like it used to be as far as the whole of community. And I think this is something that I just got sick and tired of hearing negative things about service members and those who've served. And this is our way to give back a little bit. It's just a little bit, but I want to say, and I've said it before, it's very moving to put these together. It's very emotional when we put them together, and we hope in some way that it will, even though they may have lost them, that that hurt never goes away, but they will also, I think, also appreciate that somebody remembers and cares. So anyway,
Yes.
that's some of the things we do. We do a lot of other types of programs, sports and different things, our morning funnies and our morning scripture reading and Sunday morning in the Word. We got a lot of different things in the cooker, as they say, and outspit some really good stuff. So this is one of them. Mama said, we appreciate all those that continues to click up here in the stream. We appreciate that, and we again would love to hear some of the things from you about what Mama said, and or anything else, any other topic. We run some rabbits on here, Rob.
Oh yeah, we've been known to do that a time or two. I think we started to have a Southern manners one day. We wound up talking about music for the whole show.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And speaking
Never,
of,
go ahead.
what was your mama's favorite song of all?
It would be an Elvis song, and I don't know if I know her favorite Elvis song, because she liked them all so much. She was, God, it's really hard to say. My mom loved to dance, and if I had to, she's not here for me to ask her anymore, but I would say probably Jailhouse Rock or something like that. She liked the upbeat numbers. She liked to get up and dance. So with my mom, it's definitely Elvis, and I would say either Jailhouse Rock or I don't know, something like that. That's
Yeah.
upbeat. And
My mama loved her some Elvis too, but I think her favoriteest song of all time was Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who sang it now. I should know it.
Not off the top of my head, I don't know,
But yeah,
but
that's one
definitely
we
remember
know
this.
the words to it.
Just definitely remember it.
Huh?
So, what was the first song that you remember liking as a child? You heard on the radio. I'll put a disclaimer there. Heard on the radio, because radio was huge for us.
It was Casey and the Sunshine Band. I remember that. I can't remember the name of the song though, but it was Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Okay, cool.
That and Hound Dog by Elvis.
Hound Dog. Okay.
But yeah, what about you? What was your favorite that you can remember as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid, off the radio, it was what was it? B.J. Thomas. What's the one? God, I just went blank. It was a big hit about rain. I just went blank.
Smoky Mountain Rain.
How that's not. It's not Smoky Mountain Rain. Somebody will tell me. Being I don't know live here, I just went blank. But anyway, it was B.J. Thomas. I remember that on the radio, and I just wore my. And then whoever sung "Green Eyed Lady," I used to love that song. Those are the two that the far as back as I can remember. That's the two that stand out. So
Well, record players was a big part of our childhood. Record players were and actual records.
huge.
Yeah, a huge part of our life. And I remember the coolest thing I ever got. I had the first edition of Spider-Man as a kid with a record. It was a record comic. It wasn't the actual first edition comic. It was a reprint with a record in the back of it.
Okay.
And you could put your record on and it would read it to you. That was
Cool.
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
My mama loved that. She didn't have to read it to me.
My mom introduced me to so much music. It was everything from gospel to, of course, Elvis. But she was really big she loved a lot of the Motown stuff. And so we would listen to a lot of and she's the one that gave me an appreciation of the groups, not so much the individual singers, although she liked that. It was more the like the Temptations or groups like that had the moves, and they would had the same matching outfits, and they would have the little routines down. She used to love to watch that, and she introduced me to that. So it was great. So she just entered country. She liked some country, and we listened to. Me and her was really taught that way, and she just gave me a great love of all kinds of music. Now I'm sure there were some that she didn't care for as much, but that's what I remember. And the funny thing is, we never went to a show together of anything. It was always on TV or the radio or an album. going down the road, listening to the car radio. It was never, me and her never that I can remember went to any kind of a show where we watched a group, but she had a great love of music and really gave that to me. And I'm sure my sisters would say the same thing, but different generations. But I
Yeah.
have a great love of music for that. And, I've said this before the day Elvis died. My dad loved dad, but dad he just wasn't a fan. He really wasn't just being tuned in, and he was insensitive, and he just didn't get it. Like what was a big deal, and to my mom, it was a life shattering. I mean, me and her just huddled up in one of the bedrooms and listened to the local radio, who went all Elvis for like 4 days with stories and all about the funeral, and we recorded a lot of that. And it just gave my mom time to process grieving. And I'm
I
sure there
remember,
are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that could say the same thing
mhm.
because he was such an icon. And for her, just it was devastating. People
Yeah, I
could
remember my
say whatever
mama
they
crying.
want.
Remember when my mama crying? We was driving up the road going to my grandparents. When I found out Elvis died, and I remember her crying in the car, and I was like, "What's wrong? What'd I do?"
Yeah, you're like, what's going on? We were at the lake. We came out of the lake, and my dad is actually the one that told us he'd heard on the radio, and we didn't believe him. We did not believe him. We didn't think that actually happened. But and you don't want to believe something like that. I mean,
No.
it's like when the towers got hit. You just don't want to believe that's actually happening. Like, oh, that can't be happening. What are you talking about? So there's tragedies that happen, and it's hard to process that. Our brains kind of go into a
And
protective
see,
mode.
yeah, the towers getting hit, and see that changed our world. That really did, and that was our generation's Pearl Harbor.
Yes.
We've heard people talking about, well, I know where I was when I heard about Pearl Harbor or when Kennedy was shot or any of those. And we're like, we didn't have anything really to relate back to that. And then the towers happened, 9/11, and we automatically understood right then exactly what everybody was talking about and how one thing can move a person to such, and there was no emotion to describe that. This was sorrow, anger. I mean, it was all knotted up, and the pride you felt, and the people that ran toward it and not away from it, the survivors, the
Yeah.
the people that survived and their family. It was, and you get all this emotion just knotted up. It was a horrendous act, and it affected a lot of people in
Well,
that way.
I've told you this before, and I'll give you just a short version, but for those that's listening wouldn't have heard it. But I've been really watching a lot of international things that were going on. There was just a feeling in my gut that something big was fixing to happen, and there was some anti-American stuff that had happened out around the world, and it seemed to me there was a rise in. I mean, there's always hatred for America, but from some fanatics and stuff and evil people. But I could just sense that there was something really, I could just feel it coming. I didn't know it was going to be that. I told you I went to my pastor and I said, we need to be praying. Something big's fixing to happen. I really thought at the time, as I said, I thought it was against Israel. I thought it was going to be, which by the way, we're sitting on sadly go right now waiting. And America has just sent extra military subs and different things there in anticipation that, two entities are going to attack Israel. So I thought it was going to be Israel. And actually, that what people don't know is that they have a sort of a twin towers. They're not nowhere near the size of ours. And around that time, they did try to bomb those. They intercepted their intelligence intercepted these people that were going to bomb their twin towers. So I was right. There was an attack planned on them. So anyway, I'm at work that day, or I told him that, and he took it serious, and we prayed, and I'll never forget. That first plane. I'm thinking, what is this? Like a tourist plane? Like what fog? But when they said the second building had been hit, I knew it was under. They didn't have to say it. They didn't even say it at that point. I said, I got on a microphone. We have a long line that we're working on. I said, we're under a terror attack now. And of course, the whole day changed and everything. But in the middle of that day, my pastor called me and said, "How did you know?" I mean, he got through somehow. We didn't have a direct line, but he got through. I said, I didn't know this. And he said, I'm opening up the church and we're going to pray. But those type of events, you don't forget them and they change your life. I would hope that nobody forgets it. It's sad that we're kind of getting past where people don't pay attention to that and honor that like they should. But I guess that's just a human thing. It's sad that it happens. But, there are those events that happen in your life and you do remember them. And, it's that saying, where you were when this happened. I know where I was at when Elvis died. I know where I was at when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
I know where I was at when certain other events that were very chaotic in the 70s happened.
I know where I was at when the last episode of Mork and Mindy played.
And where was that?
Oh, who Mork and Mindy are? You not one of us.
You're missing out. You go back and watch the reruns.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. That was one of the greatest shows of all time. In my personal humble opinion. Yes, it was silly. Yes, it was. But, it was
one of the greatest comedy tandems that really didn't get a chance to grow anymore was Robin and the great Jonathan Winters. And that set had to be, I don't know how they got anything filmed, to be honest, but I like to go back and watch the old Johnny Carson and Jonathan Winters was on there a lot, and so was Robin. And there were times, at least twice that I can remember, maybe 3, they were on there together. You can't help but laugh. It'll just, it's the funniest thing. And they're totally different, or were, I know they're both deceased, but they're totally different types of comedians. Yes. Robin's spastic. He's all over the place. You never know where his brain is firing. And Jonathan he's the guy that says the totally unexpected thing, and he can make all these sounds and things with his mouth. He was really just an amazing guy. And he would always come on the Johnny Carson show with something that he'd go buy something. He'd go to some shop or something. He would one night he came on with a Union Union military outfit on, and said, so we just took Van Nuys, or something like that. He would say something like that. The hair, where do you come up with this? One night he come on with Indian gloves on. I love to watch those things, but he was one of those guys that you could throw stuff out and instantly he could turn it into a routine. Not everybody can do that. Some comedians, they're really good, but it's yes. Really kind of all thought up. They don't really do well off the cuff. Robin can do that, and so could yes. Jonathan, and they were both very good at that. It's like Drew Carey and his crew that get together and they would do all those improvs and stuff. They were excellent. All of them are excellent. I can't do it like that.
Another comedy duo, and this is a classic. I think we've mentioned them on here before. Tim Conway, Harvey Korman.
Well, one of the legends. I mean, that was just a legendary combination.
And hearing them talk about it, I've watched so many interviews on those two. And Harvey Korman said there was one word that Tim Conway always said that cracked him up. And Tim Conway never missed a chance to throw this word out there. And it was koala. And it just cracked him up. And he could not, straight face was done. But the greatest ever was when he did the elephant story. And it was Carol Burnett, Vicki Lawrence, and I think Dean Martin were sitting on the couch. And he starts in with the elephant story. And I'm not going to go through the whole elephant story. If you get a chance, look up Carol Burnett, look up Tim Conway's elephant story. That's all you got to do.
Well, another one that ranks right there is the dentist office with those two.
Yes.
Harvey and Tim Conway. Yeah. You can't watch that without dying, man. And they're killing each other. I mean, I felt like that skit was probably supposed to go a little longer, but they couldn't do it. They were done. Once that, they just couldn't do it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just felt like it was a little more. But they had to get out of there. It was done. Nobody could say another word.
And you take Vicki Lawrence and throw her in that mix, okay? And I've heard her talk about this. She said, "I was not a comedian. I am an actress."
Right.
She said, "I had no idea how to even do this. And I've got these two guys and Carol around me." She said, "I couldn't do anything. And she says, so I went to Harvey Korman. She says, what do I do? She says, you be straight. You always be straight. You always be straight. And that's where Mama came from, was her trying to be straight all the time. And they did a
Yeah.
thing with her and Carol Burnett. And, because Mama, Vicki Lawrence played Mama, and Carol Burnett ended up playing her daughter, Eunice.
Yeah.
And she had this big thing. She goes, Eunice, you're running a few bricks shy of a full load. Or, Eunice, your elevator don't go all the way to the top. Eunice, just one right after another in the same tone, the same force and everything, with her hands on her hip, dressed up like Mama. And you could just see the tears run out of Carol Burnett's eyes. But, that was Vicki Lawrence's skill. She could do it with a straight face. And
amazing when they got them all together on the same when they played that family scene, and they're picking at each other. And of course Harvey, he's the guy who works, but he's really kind of worthless. He's always trying to come up with some thing that he's going to make a lot of money on, and it don't work. Anyway, but I was just as a side on that, on Carol Burnett, one of the greatest things I love that she did, which was very different, was coming out and talking to the audience and taking questions. I love those parts.
Yes.
It just kind of gave I don't know, just a personal touch to the show, where fans could actually, raise hands, and some of them could get their questions answered. That, I mean, you don't see that very often. I mean, I just think that was pretty unique.
Why don't we do that on a Hump Day News? Why don't we come on here and just anybody wants to come in and ask us anything they want to? Come on.
We could do it. We could do that. We'll have to set that up and let people know that, hey, when you get in here, that's what we're doing. Yeah. Come on up. Or at least chat, put it in the chat or something.
We'll have to get Chris up in here too.
Yeah, we'd have to have him. He worked. The mad scientist can work the controls.
Yeah. Y'all can ask him, how come with us being brother-in-laws, he's so much uglier than I
am? Chris is supposed to be listening now. I don't know if he is, but if he is, shame on you, Robert. He's not feeling well tonight.
If I was that ugly, I wouldn't feel good either.
Cold, man. Cold.
Love you, brother.
Love you. So Mama said, and we listened. So we got up from some other things, but that's what Mama said. Mama said a lot of things. We're thankful for our mamas, my mama's in heaven, and my other second mom of my mother-in-law, she's in heaven. I love them both, and see them again one day. But they had a lot of things to say, and we cherish our moms. If you're watching in, your mom, God bless moms. We'll say that, and catch us again. We do a Southern Manners / Mannerism show. I don't think we did one last week. We got to get one of those done this week, and where we talk about characteristics of things that we do down here and the way we act. And
basically, it is a survival guide for non-Southerners to be able to survive down here in the South when you come down here. And we cover a lot of important elements. Number one, you better make sure your hat bill is curved. Okay? It's got to be curved. Now, see, Dave there, as you can see Dave over here, Dave's is almost flat.
Nah, it's curved. It's curved some, man. It's just not like yours. I don't have to keep the gnats out of my eyes,
the further south you go, the steeper the curve will be. Just so you know. And you can't go. You go any further south from where I'm at, you're going back north.
Is that some sort of Southern wisdom there from South Georgia?
You go any further south from here, you're going into Florida, and that's a Yankee country, except for the Panhandle. And the Panhandle of Florida is where rednecks come from. Huh?
You're so far south, Florida claims you.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that'd be them rednecks, I guess. I don't know. I never really considered myself to be a redneck. Now, my wife does. She definitely considers me to be a redneck, and I keep telling her I'm a country boy. I'm just an old hick. And my uncle will come by, and I'll tell her he's a redneck. My uncle's a redneck. I'm not talking about Uncle Jeb. I'm talking about my other uncle. He's a redneck. Yeah. And she said, no, he's a Southern boy. He's a country boy. You a redneck. She'll do it too. It's just that voice. Mm.
Well, all
See,
right.
I think you're kind of redneckish.
Maybe a little. Maybe little. Not a
I
whole
don't
lot.
know. You ain't never ate no barbecue goat. You can't be too redneck.
No barbecue goat. I'm not going there.
What if you went there and nobody told you what it was, and you just had some good barbecue, and you were like, "I liked it." Then someone later on told you it was goat.
Well, see, the thing is, I don't really eat barbecue, so that scenario doesn't really work.
You
I
don't
don't
eat
really.
barbecue
Uh,
or
rare,
grits,
rarely, no grits,
no
and no,
greens.
and no grit cake that way. I found out about. There's a grit cake. I'm not doing that either.
My goodness, that's
I'm a
like
picky
3
eater. I really am. But
I,
I mean, I like the breakfast foods. I like the eggs and bacon and sausage and
chitlins.
gravy and no, no. Just take me out, get me a country boy breakfast, and this country boy's happy.
I didn't know Cracker Barrel served anything but the Country Boy for a long time.
Yeah, they got the old timers. That's yours, right? The old timer meal.
No, Country Boy. That old
I
timer's
know.
strictly on you,
I should
sir.
get the discount or
You
something.
elderly gentleman, you.
No, I'm all with the country boy breakfast. I remember taking a guy there for the first time. He'd never been there before, and we went there for breakfast. I think we'd worked on it or something. And I said, "You've never been to there for breakfast?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, I'll take you, man." I said, "I'll even buy." So we get there, and he said, we ordered. I said 2 country boy breakfasts, and they got a couple of things I have to ask you. Went on. He said, "Now, David, I want to tell you now. I'm a big eater. I hope this will fill me up." I said, "Dude, don't even don't even worry about it." They started coming out and putting them plates all over that table. Before you know it, there ain't hardly a space left. He's
Yes.
like, "You was not lying." He was hooked. He said, "I'll be back," like Arnold.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you just show up and eat, boy. You've said enough. Time to eat.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right.
oh my goodness. Oh, I remember my mama one time decided, and she decided this, that I need to learn how to cook. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't learn how to cook because she said we were going to eat what I cooked, and she wasn't eating that. And in fact, she came to the kitchen several times and went,
Oh yeah. When they go to putting their
good.
sauces and all that seasoning and whatever, you got to do all that just right, or
Mhm.
you'll get
And
called
see, like
down real
now,
quick.
I cook pretty good now. Of course, I had to feed myself, but I fixed it the way I liked it. And other people seem to like it that way too. I don't measure jack squat hardly. That looks about right. That looks about right. I'm all over the dash and the skosh and the whatever, and I'm all over that. I probably couldn't make bread because that you got to be real careful with, but I can make cornbread. Mm.
Well, yeah, we got to make some cornbread.
Oh yeah,
Nothing like that. Or was you a? I think I've asked you this before. I don't remember, a cornbread and milk guy.
no,
Yeah, me neither. My
no.
wife is all into that cornbread and milk.
My
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 grand
my
my
my dad and my grandfather both were very much into that. Not me. I didn't. I don't really care for white milk. I like chocolate, so they don't
okay.
go good.
Yeah, well, chocolate milk wouldn't go good with cornbread at
No,
all.
so I was just never into that.
Okay, let me ask you this. All right, this is a little bit off topic. Did you like fruity pebbles, or do you like fruity pebbles? Huh?
Well, I did. I don't eat them anymore, but yeah, I did.
There's a reason why I don't eat them because if I start eating them, I'll eat the whole box.
It's
So I don't get them anymore.
yeah.
That's the
You
best
could
way to
eat them
avoid it.
right out of the bag. Yeah.
No, it's got to have milk. But
Yeah.
uh,
You never ate dry cereal?
no,
I can open up those little packs. They come down. You to peel the top back. I can
yeah.
just eat that right out of the container. I don't even
Well,
need milk.
we've already
In fact,
established you're about 3/4 Yankee anyway. That's just a very Yankee thing to do right there. I'm sorry.
I
You
can
know,
do it though. Call it what you want, big boy, but I can do it. I can just peel it back and eat them. And now Josh, he pours some milk in there. He that's for that. You can pour the milk in there. Not me. I'll just eat dry.
oh my goodness. Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me you like your biscuits plain without gravy.
No, but I would eat a good butter biscuit.
Okay, I'll go along with a butter biscuit. I'll go
I
along with
mean,
that.
I mean,
But if you had your choice between a butter biscuit and gravy, which would you pick?
well, I can't really make a choice there because here's the deal: you got to understand the Cordell methodology of eating breakfast. So if I'm going to have gravy and biscuit, that's a given, okay? But
Okay.
however, you have to have the butter biscuit because what are you going to sop up the egg stuff with? The juice left out of that. So that's
Grit.
what I use that
You should
for.
be cutting that up and putting it in, mixing it in with your grits.
Well, I don't eat grits, so then I don't have to worry about that.
See, right there. Right there. That's why you have to eat grits because you got to
I,
cut it up and mix your eggs. You got to have your eggs over easy and cut them up and mix them up with your grits.
I didn't think you could discuss me anymore, but the fact that you said put the grits and the egg juice together, that's
Yeah.
disgusting. I'm
How is
sorry.
that disgusting?
Take a southern point away from me. That's disgusting, man. Come on.
Well, wait a minute.
Grits are bad enough by themselves. The fact you're putting
Mm.
eggs stuff in it, that's
Oh,
disgusting,
yeah.
man. Come on.
You don't like your eggs over easy?
I do.
Well,
But I don't like grits and I don't want egg yolk or whatever in there. Oh man, that's
I'll
disgusting.
tell you what. I got a challenge for you. I got something for you to try.
Okay.
I want you to get you a piece of bread
All right.
and take out the middle part. Okay?
Okay.
I want you to get a skillet, spray it with Pam or whatever. Throw that piece of bread in there. Okay? Break you an egg and pop it right in the middle of it. Okay? Let it cook for a little
Okay.
bit. Flip it. Let it cook the other side. Put you a little bit of salt on it and eat it once the egg gets done. It'll attach to it'll fill up the middle of the bread. It'll toast the bread. Yeah, try it. I want you to try this.
It might be okay, but I'm not really getting it right now. So
Oh my goodness. It's called eggs in a basket. You had never had eggs in a basket? Oh
no,
my goodness.
I have not. I've not eaten that eggs come in a basket maybe, and then you cook them. But I've never heard eggs in a basket like
No.
that.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Oh
Dude,
man,
you need to try it. You ain't
I,
never did toasting your egg yolk. Chopping it.
I bet my oldest son would like it. I bet he would, but not me. I'm
Oh,
not. I wouldn't say I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't go that far. I would eat it because I like toast. I like eggs. But why can't we just have some toast and have some eggs? And then
well, you
I
won't
think
make people do
no,
extra
no,
work.
no. Wait. Here's the deal. Here's what you got to understand. I'm not fanatical about it. I'm not because I know some people are. The OCD, whatever you want to call it. Don't no offense to any OCD people or anything like that.
You don't like your
I
food to touch.
I don't. I really don't. I'm not crazy with it. It's just, I don't make a big deal. I don't hit if something touches. I'm not oh you're like a liberal going crazy today. Oh I don't have food touching syndrome or something like that. But I do take my fork and I kind of keep my food kind of separate. I don't think I've ever told you that, but it'll help you understand me a little more.
Oh, well, dude, it just gives
Where
me
I
more.
bet, listen, I
You
bet
just
you were
need
the
fat
kid.
all
No,
over
no, no.
my face.
You were the kid in school who mixed all these food up into some kind of blob and then ate it and had food running out of their mouth, and all the kids are going, "Oh man, look at him!"
No, I
with a little
absolutely was
chocolate
not.
milk poured
I
on
eat.
top.
Look, I eat one thing at a time. When I eat my rice. I eat my veggies. I eat my bread. I eat my meat. I eat everything one at a time.
You know what
Now,
you
I don't
just
care if
said?
it touches. That just
You know
kind of
what
gets me warmed up for the next thing I'm going to eat.
I got a new name for you
What's that?
because one of the best skits out of All in the Family, Meathead. That's the way he ate his food, and Archie gave him heck about it. because
Okay.
he would eat all of his peas, and he would go to something else, and Archie had a fit about it. So
Yeah.
meathead.
So what you're saying is you're a cantankerous, grouchy butt like Archie Bunker was.
Well, I could be. My dad was. I'm getting older. Maybe I'm getting more like him. You know.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I loved Archie.
By the way,
Oh
if
my
you go
gosh.
back to our dads across that generation, I can tell you in the South, but it's all over the country. I can tell you that there were so many that identified. I'm not saying with the racism. I'm just saying with the attitudes that he had, which all made up. He
Mhm.
wasn't like that. They identified with him. That that's
George
why it was such a hit,
Jefferson.
because everybody from their culture, they knew people like that. They were
Yeah.
geniuses at putting that show together. I mean, there were times it was over the top political, but they knew how to evoke. And Carol O'Connor, what's called Carol O'Connor said, "I know this guy. I've met this guy on the streets of New York. I know this guy. I can play this guy, and it will be a big hit." And he was right because he just
Oh
knew
yeah.
that. He knew that.
And the lady that played Edith Bunker, I cannot say her name, but her and him singing the intro for All in the Family was
Those were the days.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, those
You
are the
know,
days.
but you couldn't do a show like that now. There is no
Oh
way
no, no,
you couldn't do that show.
no,
You couldn't do the Jeffersons. I don't even know if you could do Married with Children now. You know,
probably
with
not.
all the stuff that went on in that. I don't know if you could do. There's just so much stuff, but that you definitely couldn't have made Blazing Saddles now.
No,
And Mel Brooks, that whole movie was to offend everybody, to show people, hey, this is not real. We're laughing. You know,
I
we can
bet you
laugh.
could. I bet you couldn't even make Jaws now
Oh yeah, you can make Jaws.
because
Why
they
couldn't
would
you make
be,
Jaws?
you know, they had, they tortured and killed the shark.
Okay, everybody knows. Here's you a piece of trivia. Now, Jaws was the very first movie I went to see. My
Wow,
mother took me to see it.
how old were you?
Like five. Came out in 75, right?
I
75,
think so.
76. But you got to look, I was totally fascinated with sharks even back then. Okay. I'm
I
still a
know.
shark nut. And my mom took me to see it, hoping that it would scare it out of me. Okay. And I was like 5 or 6 years old. And she takes me to see Jaws. And she was like, all right, when it starts getting too scary for you, we'll leave. If it starts getting too scary for you. I said, okay. Well, the first time they played that terrifying music, that dun, I'm ready to go. Well, let's watch it just a little bit longer, all the way through the movie. Let's watch just a little bit more. Let's watch just a little bit more. Well, by the end of the movie, I was getting into it. I was rooting for the shark. Uh, but I just happened to be
Oh,
pretty much an expert on the movie Jaws. Can you tell me who the second victim was in the movie Jaws? You know, the first victim was the girl swimming out in the ocean. Can you tell me who this, or tell me the second victim in the movie Jaws?
was it the Kittner boy?
Everybody thinks that.
Well, it was actually there was a boat that got attacked, and there was a fisherman, wasn't there? I don't
No,
remember. That's what
there
that would be.
was. That was the third.
Okay.
The second victim was Pippet. If you watch the movie, there's a guy throwing a stick out in the water for his dog Pippet to go get.
Oh, the dog.
And yeah,
Yeah, I forgot
and
about that.
Pippet never came back.
Well, and that's one of the reasons that people would think that, Robert, is that was such a powerful scene. And I've saw things about that where the lady that played the mom,
Yes.
the actor, I think if I remember right, did not know she was going to slap him, and they did
Yes.
that on purpose. So he would. They wanted to see that response that as she did that.
Yes.
Uh,
Roy Schreider.
yeah,
And what an actor he was. My
yeah,
goodness. The whole line, and this is one of the other amazing things. there was two amazing conversations, but there's one line in particular where he backs into when he first sees the shark and he backs up into the cockpit and Quint's in there. He says, "Gonna need a bigger boat."
Yeah.
That was ad libbed.
Oh, really?
That was ad libbed. That's amazing. And Robert Shaw, the guy that played Quint, when he was asking, when Richard Dreyfuss asked him about his tattoo that he had removed, a scar on his arm, he said, "That was a tattoo I had removed." And he says, "Oh, let me guess, Mother?" And he says, "No, that was the USS Indianapolis." And Richard Dreyfuss's character just totally froze and said, "You were on the Indianapolis." And he went through and he completely ad-libbed the story for the Indianapolis, and they kept it in the movie.
Wow.
Because it did so much to build his character up.
I mean, and one of the craziest things about that movie is it's really a miracle it even got made, because the shark was a disaster. It didn't work most of the time. They had to rewrite scenes because there were some things that the shark, they just could not get it to do. The shark was a big dud. They were supposed to have, I read it recently, they were supposed to have a scene where the shark went after these kids or something and, get some of them. They thought it was too gory as well. And it's probably good they didn't do it. But every time they went to try to test, the shark failed every time. I mean,
yes. One of the other greatest things, did you know that the mechanical shark in Jaws had a name?
I believe I've read that, but I don't know what
they named it after Spielberg's attorney, Bruce.
Okay.
Now, as a shout out to that, do you remember in Finding Nemo what the great white shark's name was?
I do not.
Bruce.
Okay. Okay.
It's just oddball trivia. It's hard to catch me up on or get me going to get me on Jaws. I got that down pretty good. I've seen it a few times, read the book a number of times. The book is different.
I will tell you, we went, this has been a long time ago, 24 years ago. We were at Universal Studios. And of course, I don't know if they still have it. They had the Jaws, like they had the other rides and stuff. You could go out on the water. And it was really kind of a fluke, but it was perfect. We're riding along. I don't think my wife really knew what it was even all about. She's just enjoying being out for the day. We got the two boys. And we're riding along, and we had looked off to our left. Well, actually, I kind of saw it coming, and I looked this way and pointed to something to get my wife's attention that way. And then I looked over it, and right about the time it was coming up like that, I said, "Oh, look at that." And my wife turned around, and if she could have went through me, she would have jumped out of that boat. It was right beside her with the mouth opening up, and
oh, wow.
She yelled. It was great. She still remembers that. But
let's run one more commercial real quick.
Sure.
Let's hit ARA one more time, and I'll be right back. Give me just a second here.
All right. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. And we are.
Yes.
Great folks. Glad you made it back, Rob.
Yes.
Good timing.
Yes, I'm very good. And sorry, these shows run a couple hours. Sometimes you just have to move for a second.
Absolutely. Oh. We're glad to have you again, have you folks here. And Go to our different streams, whichever one you want to use. We're on many. We've got to update our programming thing again with all the streams because we're now on Apple Podcast. That's one we've been working on, but we're out there on all the majors: Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, Truth, Getter. Oh my goodness, and
Yeah.
Parler is a new one for us, and then we do some of our shorter things for TikTok and Clapper, and that's been very successful. We're very honored. And then Apple Podcasts, we're just now shows like this will be up on there, longer form type stuff. So. And soon we're hoping we've just all been sick and had a rough go to get our merch store up. And we've been, I say I've done some work, but honestly, I got to give Robert and Chris all the credit. They just show me stuff and I'll go, yay. It's great. Or I might give an idea here or there, but my request was I want a hat. I want an SFP hat, Southern Fried Podcast, and a coffee mug. That's my two biggest things. I'll get a hoodie and some of the other things, but the hat and the coffee mug is a must. I must have those two things. Cannot
we're
wait
gonna
to
have
have
lots
that.
of coffee mugs. Don't you worry none. You just have to pick it out.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a wide variety of that stuff.
And by the way, Rob, we've got these catchphrases that we have that'll be a part of that. I mean, our morning slogan, get up, pray up, coffee up. That'll be one of them. Mama said will be another one. One of us. We do that with our funnies, or you're one of us. That'll be another one that we have. So we've got several little.
Designed us some amazing logos and thumbnails.
By the way, he's sending those to me right now. I mean, while we've been on the air, one grouping of them came in right before we went on air, and then he's been sending me a bunch more. Now, some of these he's been fixing up because Apple's, they're pretty particular about what kind of thumbnail you use, but it's been really great. But I do appreciate the hard work he's put in. Chris is a veteran of putting together. He's really, his forte is all things, but especially YouTube. He's really worked hard. I can't say enough. And his total goal is, he's happy to be a part, but his total goal is just to see us succeed. And you can't say thanks enough for people like that. And we've just had people that have helped us along the way that encourage us and everything. We're approaching 200 shows. We'll be there probably by the end of the week or first of next week. And we're only about maybe 80 days old. I mean, we really hit it hard, and we have worked really just about every day. One of us is working on something every day, if not all of us, on something about it. So we're not bragging. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we love it. We're loving it, and we love that at least somebody wants to come in and be a part of it. And so it's great therapy. Get on here and interaction with our followers and stuff, and it's just really been a blessing for us.
And for me especially, it's really been a blessing. I'm somewhat limited on what I can do,
Right.
And when I reached out to David with this idea, and we were like, as soon as I said it, we were like, kabloom, we can do this.
Yeah.
And because we both are experts at yakking.
Well, yeah, we can do that
with anybody, but we also have a point of view that is uniquely Southern. We both have an element of patriotism. We both have an element of honor, of faith, of
family,
friends. But see, me and Dave are more than friends. We're family. I mean, if you've known each other and hung out and gave each other a hard time for 30 years plus, you kind of go beyond a little bit on that friend thing. Family starts kicking, so.
And one of the things about this program is we do laugh a lot. And I think that's the element that's missing in our world today is people have forgotten how to laugh. They want to laugh at someone. That's okay. You can laugh at us. But I mean, laugh at their failures and all that. We're not talking about the kind of laughter. We're talking about laughter where we just crack each other up about something and laugh about it. And when I was growing up, the radio stations, their morning shows were all funny like that because it was a hit. In fact, in our town, you remember the Morning Circus. I mean, those guys you had to tune in. The songs were great, but you were listening after the song ended to see what these guys would come up with. And those were the precursors to some of the bigger duos that were out there in radio and then later in podcasting and everything else. And the names, I won't say all the names, but You know what I mean? And they love to laugh, and we miss that. I mean, laughter's good for you. It's proven that laughter is good for your body. It's good for your, how you feel and your spirit. The Bible has things to say about that. Said it doeth good like a medicine. And uh, people that have lost the ability to laugh, and I know sometimes we can't. We're hurting. It's grieving, whatever.
Yeah.
But you have to find humor in something and find a way to laugh. And kids are great about that. Kids will they'll laugh at anything, and they laugh so much they get you to laughing. And that's why
Yeah.
it's such a blessing to have kids around. That's one of 1,000 or a million reasons, but children keep you young and they keep you laughing. I'm raising a granddaughter, and just earlier we were in there, and we do this all the time, but she was trying to be serious about something. I just looked at her and made like a face, and she's like, "What are you looking at me like that for?" Started laughing, and next thing you know, she's got me laughing, and that was what I was doing before I come on the air, was just laughing, just having fun. And we hope that something we do will make you laugh too.
Yeah.
At
The whole
least
thing with the morning funnies, we know mornings are hard. We
it is
know it.
hard.
They are hard. And the older you get, the harder they get.
Oh
And if
man,
we could just get enough life out of you, just to give you, we'll take it. We'll
we'll
take it.
take it.
You
We'll
know,
take it.
we just want to brighten your day. If there's any, even if it's just a tiny little bit, or if we say something makes you think about something funny that happened to you, and okay, we'll take it. You know, that's fine. We don't want you to smudge your lipstick or nothing while you're getting ready for work or while you're shaving. We don't want you to get one of them shaving cuts. We don't want none of that. You know, that's important. Or if you have to shave and put on your lipstick, we don't want you to mess up. However, it is that you get ready in the morning. I know I used to see women folk driving up the highway with their phone out, cup of coffee, knee up on the steering wheel, and trying to put on lipstick at the same time. You know, if they can do that, I'm quite sure you can put on lipstick and shave at the same time. And listen to us. Just saying.
What an image that is. But the world is so serious now, and I know there's serious issues, but don't you just get tired of the ugly noise that just is constant? The total
Yeah.
bashing of everything that you cherish and you care about. I mean, it just gets so old. I mean, and there's a little bit of that in all sides, I'd say, and I don't. I got to take a break from that. I'm not saying I ignore it. I keep up. I know what's going on, but you got to feed your soul. You've got to. So we give you a morning funny, and then around the same time we have a morning scripture reading. We're feeding the soul,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Hey, I'm a Christian. Some Christians they've forgotten how to smile. They really have. Just
Yeah.
go to church on Sunday morning. Maybe they got problems. I get it, but they can be so serious, and we have to learn to have laughter and to find joy. And we're not always going to be smiling, but we can have joy. And I think that was our goal is to bring some joy into somebody's life and talk about things. We don't have any fact checkers on here unless somebody gets it. Occasionally people get in the chat and I say, well, it's really this. We're thankful for it,
Mm-hmm.
but we won't let the truth get in front of a good story. We stretch it a little bit. We're just having fun, and that's another thing, Robert, somebody wants to correct you all the time, just have fun with it. Just go with it.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of going to a movie and laughing
Just,
at something is it's not reality. You're just laughing
yeah.
at what they're doing.
When somebody wants to correct me on everything all the time, I start telling a bigger and bigger story and then start arguing with them about it. And see, I was hoping the other day when I broke the story of the monkey farm in Bainbridge that you were going to me. You're crazy. There ain't no monkey farm coming they ain't trying to put no monkey farm up in Bainbridge. And I was waiting for it and waiting for it and waiting for it. And you were sitting over on the other side because we know each other, giving me a line, just letting me get that hook further down before you said it.
I
And we're
was.
going, so we were having this little back and forth, and we know there's a back and forth going on.
I was
We
waiting
may
on the
not
punchline.
understand the exact angle, but nobody else really knew that we had this back and forth going on, and it was getting out there. And when I said Well, I can post it, share the screen, and pull the story up and share the screen and put it over here. And Dave was like, "Yeah, do that." And I
Yeah,
heard him. I heard
that
him.
was
That's when he tripped the handle on the reel, getting
yeah,
ready to set the hook.
that was my call out. That's right. Yeah, go ahead, big boy. Pull that up on screen. Prove that. I
And I
golly, he
did.
did. But but I'm glad you did because we had a lot of fun with that. I've still been laughing about
Oh, I
the
have
thought of
too.
the thought of a B movie, the monkeys running all over Bainbridge, people running for their lives, the monkeys terrorizing a small town in the South. I've been laughing about that ever since did that show.
Well, you know who the hero would have to be. I said Ryan Reynolds and uh, 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 Hugh. I can't say his name. Wolverine. Hugh.
I can't remember
Help me. Anyway, the Deadpool
Hugh.
Wolverine would have to come. So, huh?
I'm just saying, just go with the first name. Everybody knows,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
me, who you're talking about.
Deadpool Wolverine would have to save us from the monkeys. But I've changed my mind.
Oh, you've changed your mind.
I've changed my mind. There's only
Okay.
one person that could come down here and save us from the monkey invasion from the monkey farms.
Who would
Kirby
that be?
Smart from the Georgia football team
Okay.
in full pads and helmets.
Well, they are going to be preseason ranked number one. I think
Yes.
that in all polls, and so I don't know if they'll hold it, but I hope so. But
Uh, they
they're
might
they're
as well. They're
they're
going
probably
all the way through.
capable. They're
Straight
probably
through.
capable of handling it. They got
Straight
the
through.
moxie. Yeah.
Undefeated. Straight through.
Well, I hope
Undefeated.
so. It's a tall order, but I hope so.
That's a tall order, but really the only one I'm looking at that might have a chance of stopping them is going to be Texas. And that's going to be a hard game at Texas. But I'm telling you, so Mama said Georgia got this.
Better go get it. I want to back up to the monkey farm a little bit. Where does that stand at? Has it been voted on?
There,
Or
it's in court right now. There's
in
not
court?
enough people out there creating enough of a ruckus. But
So
yeah,
they got an injunction until it's heard before a
it's a,
court or something.
I think it's a temporary injunction. But see, what happened was they already approved everything.
Yeah, I think
Before,
I hate to say it. If you're listening from Bainbridge, I think they would lose that because it's that's money coming into the county, city. Is it in the county or is it in the
it's
city?
in the city, I think. I'm pretty sure that it's in the city. Uh, see, on June the 13th is the latest information that I have, which was last month. And this is the same story that I pulled up the other day. Georgia Court of Appeals hears Bainbridge monkey facility arguments. And they've had protests. But what has happened is they have broken some rules getting this thing going or to get this out there.
They've
They're
found some
giving them stuff
loopholes.
to give other farmers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, yeah. But it's a facility. Let's see. That's going to try to put out 30,000 monkeys. That is a lot of monkeys.
It wouldn't take that much to take over the town.
No, they wouldn't take 30,000 to take over Bainbridge. I think they probably do it about 10, about a third of that. But yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I
But
just had this it's totally different, but I'm sorry, it's the way my brain fires. The whole WKRP turkey drop.
oh my gosh, that was amazing. I love that. I love that. It is one of my favorite bits of all time.
Folks, if you
There's
haven't
something coming out of
seen
the
that,
helicopter. And then the owner, at the end of it, the owner comes in. I swear to God, I didn't know they couldn't fly. I thought they could fly.
that is legend. A legend show. that episode. The show was great too,
I
but
could see something like that happening with this. I thought they could swim.
I didn't know they could run that fast.
mean, they really can climb trees?
Oh man, somebody's gonna get mad at us. They're gonna be saying, "Well, you lay off the monkey farm."
Oh, it's great, dude.
This is gonna show up at a commission meeting or court about this. They're gonna say, "Look, we're the laughing stock of America. The Southern Fried Podcast is making fun of our monkey farm."
I gotta do it.
No monkey facility in Bainbridge.
There you go, right there.
Oh man, I would like to have one of the hats, dude.
No doubt, dude.
Can you not look into that down there and see if you can find out where to get
I'll
one of
see
them
if I
hats?
can find us some hats.
That's one to keep, man. That's one that is. I've got to have one of those hats, man.
I
Come
don't
on,
know if
man.
we had that made or what, but that's awesome.
Hey, you got to ask around, man. I want one of those hats. I do. I'll wear it on the show.
I would too.
You got to get two of them hats, man. Come on. We got to have a hat.
I'm still thinking we need to get Chris to do us like a Planet of the Apes faces. Our faces on the Planet of the Apes. In the corner of the entering Bainbridge. That would be awesome, dude.
Yeah. Chris is the mad scientist. He'll eventually get
great
to it.
is have his face over Charlton Heston's body in the bottom.
Oh man, that is so killer.
Oh my gosh.
I want one of those hats, man. I want one of those hats. And when we go to the Nat Festival in May of next year, I want a hat from the Nat Festival.
Yes,
I do. And by the way, the one we got up here, the old Greenhouse Festival, I want a hat from there. I've got to have that. Those are unique things. Yeah, we're going to be putting together some interesting programming that we might not necessarily, we don't agree with, but we want to present it and just see what people have to say about it. And one of those is
my daughter is all over this.
We're putting it together in the paranormal, and we're going to. There's a whole genre of people out there, and it gets really intense. Maybe you're listening, and you are, but we have a legend up here of Old Green Eyes. So they're having the first ever Killing Cave.
Skunk Ape.
Oh, I'm sorry. It broke up a little bit when you came through.
What do you think I said? Killing Cave? What?
Cave. I was like, is there like a killer cave? It broke up when it came through, and I was like, what's a killer cave, man? What?
Dude, you need to come down here more. So we don't have very many caves. We got the Mariana Caverns down in Mariana, Florida, but that's about it. There ain't enough hills around here to have a whole heap of caves, dude.
Well, caves are underground, man. You got underground, don't you?
Dude, if you have a cave in the ground right here, it'd be full of water. It's called a well.
Oh, man.
Just saying. That creek may not be full of water all the time, but that well would be.
Well, we know it's full now. The hurricane came. Well, not in your area, but it came through.
No, we may have got we dodged the bullet, dude. I'm tickled pink. We got about 6 drops of rain out of that. It was great. I watched the bands the night before, and it seemed like they would come right up to the edge of the county line off in the distance, and I could see them swirling and going. They stayed over that way. Of course, now it's hot. I'm back to mowing again. I'll be mowing the next 3 or 4 days. You can only do it for a little while as long as you can stand it, and it gets so hot. I got to get it done the next 3 days, though, because it's going to rain.
Yeah, rain's coming. So. Rain's coming. Starts all over again. But the good news is the mowing season will be ending before long.
Yeah, for you. Shoot. I may be mowing in November. I ain't joking. I've been threatening to do this. But I got to get out of the car. I got to get out of the air conditioning to get some of this footage that I want to get. And I really don't want to get out of the air conditioning. I'll be perfectly honest. We'll be driving down the road. Weeds would be so high on the edge of the road, you can't get a shot without getting out of the car, wading through the ditch and getting up on the edge of the field trying to get some. I'm going to have to get Jason to drive me around.
You need some goats, man.
Oh, I'm not talking about at my house.
I know, but you could clean out that area. You can bring some goats down there and kind of clean it out a little bit.
Dude, goats don't eat so much. You know how many goats I'd have to have?
You could be the South Georgia goat man.
I don't want to be the South Georgia goat man. I'm already the South Georgia cat man. Mm.
Well,
We
you
want
do
cat,
have
we crazy cat people. Huh?
you do have four, so you know.
Yeah, but we got two, and we were going to have two, and that would have been fine. One for his and hers deal. Because Roscoe likes her, Topanga likes me. That's the male likes my wife, and the female likes me. We were happy there. Then her dad moved in, and he had a cat. When he moved out, he couldn't take the cat with him because the landlady said, "We can't have any cats because I'm allergic." Okay. Offered to shave the cat. That didn't go over. So anyway, we had three. Okay, fine. She'd already lived here for a year and a half, so you can't just boot her out. And she's my podcast. Where'd my podcast go? She normally lays right up there and watches me while I do this. She's a sweetie. That's fine. And then we got Chuck. And Chuck was just a pitiful little mess that claimed us. And let me tell you something. When we was coming back from Bainbridge, after we went and picked up his food and stuff, and I didn't have a carrier, but he was clawing the snot out of me, and I was trying to hold him and love on him, and he's just all excited. I'm going to get food. I know these guys are going to feed me. They're going to give me some water. They're going to take care of me. I know it. He's just all excited. So when we got up there, I asked for a cat carrier, one of those cardboard ones. We didn't make it halfway home. He done busted out of that thing. I mean,
Busted out.
Literally, his head just went poof, right up through it. He's like, "Here I am. I don't like this thing. Get me out." Chuck Norris lives.
Chuck Norris lives.
Yeah.
You need a Bruce Lee. If you're gonna have a Chuck Norris, you need a Bruce Lee.
No.
Or you could have the Chuck. What was what was his TV name in the
Walker.
Yeah, Walker, and then what was the other guy's his partner? What was his name?
Tibbs.
Tibbs. Okay, you could have a Tibbs.
Now, if I'm gonna do that, I'm doing Sonny and Crockett. We're going way back to Miami Vice.
Oh, okay.
But my wife said he had to have an awesome name. That was my only criteria. And I said, okay, his name is Chuck Norris. And she started, "You're an idiot. I love you." And he became Chuck Norris. And when we took him to the vet, get him fixed and all that kind of stuff. What's his name? Chuck Norris. And everybody was like, and one of the nurses was like, "That's great." But, yeah, he's rotten.
You just reminded me of something. When we went and we read, the dog out of the shelter there, and Kaylee, we looked, and Kaylee just locked in on what became Coco right away. They went and got it out. We went in there with her, and we held her, and she petted her and all that. And so I knew it was a done deal. I knew we weren't leaving there without a dog that day. I just knew by her mama instincts were already, I'm getting a dog. She wanted a small dog, and they didn't have many, but they had like maybe 4. And anyway, she spotted one. So we go inside, and they bring out the card on the dog, and we're signing paperwork, and we're giving the money. And the dog already had a name. Of course, you can rename a dog or a cat. And Kaylee didn't like the name that it had. So she said, "Are you going to keep that name?" And Kaylee said, "No, I've got a name for the dog." And so the lady said, "Well, give me that. I'm going to put it in the file." And so I didn't like this. I really did not like this. We weren't even joking around. But so Kaylee says her name is Coco. And the lady goes, "Well, that dog don't look like no Coco. That's not a good name for her." And Kaylee looks at me, and I thought, I can't believe she just said that to my kid. And I said, "She's already picked out the name Coco. Coco is the dog's name." And she's like, "Oh, it don't matter to me. Whatever you're happy with," and da da da. She started backing up because I was like, "Lady,
yeah, no doubt.
Don't be trying to, do a smackdown on a kid about the name of the dog." And that name fits. That name so fits this dog. and I can't imagine her being called anything else. I couldn't believe she did that. I
Yeah.
don't think maybe she didn't mean it that way, but why would you tell a kid? Basically, you're saying, well, that's a stupid name.
Yeah. Well,
That's not that dog. That dog's not a Coco.
the
Shut
first two
up.
cats we got was Topanga was one of them, and we left her name. That was the name they had for her. I don't know what it means. It means something, but it's Topanga. That's a good little kitty name. But the other one, his name was Picasso. Picasso? I didn't like it. Yeah, he's not a Picasso. And it wasn't long. He became a Roscoe. Yeah, and he answers to it just fine. He knows his name is Roscoe P. Coltrane.
And honestly, I think it was a good thing we changed the name because this dog was rescued out of a bad environment. There was actually three dogs, and the dog has some issues. I think she probably loves me, but she don't like men.
Yeah.
And she likes kids and women. She don't like men. I guess I'm a man abuser. So I think it was probably good we changed the name because she really took to that name really quick. And the other stuff was associated with the other name. And I just figured bad things happen with that under that name
Yeah.
anyway. So it was good to give the dog a new name. And so, but Kaylee was adamant like this. By the way, that dog at ARA that she asked me about the other day, she said, we're going to get that dog. I said, I'm not sure, things we got to consider here. But she already, if we were to go get that dog, she already has a name for that dog. It would
Hey,
have a name change.
I got you a place to stay. Y'all come on and get it. Y'all going to get Fern, right?
No, it wasn't Fern.
Okay.
It was a little bulldog. Was it what they call it?
Okay.
It was a bully or
Y'all got a place to stay. You come on. I can't
we're
make it
not
no
sure
easier.
yet.
Huh?
I said we're not sure yet. We got some things we're
Oh,
working
I'm
on.
just trying to help you out.
Well, I know you are. Yeah, I know you
You
are.
might need a cat too. They
No
got
cat.
kittens that are going to be ready at the end of the month. You get the dog and the cat at the same time, and that
No,
way they'll be used to each other.
no cats. But if I did, would I get an ARA special prize for getting a dog and a cat? Maybe I don't know.
I'm pretty
We'd
sure
have
they
to
work
ask.
out.
I get a two for deal.
They might could work out something. Uh,
Folks, ARA. Some of them
uh,
listening may not even know them, but we ran the ad, the Animal Rescue Alliance in Donaldsonville, Georgia. But they come from all over the United States to get animals from this place. I mean, we heard
yeah,
Indiana and I think Pennsylvania, and there were different places that they drove, hours and hours to go get an animal.
yeah.
So it's cool.
We did an interview with some of them. It's on our interviews playlist. If you want to back up and look at those were some fun interviews, and people talking about how far they've come and how they worked out getting the animal from here to there, and it was fun interviews.
Yeah, in some
Uh,
cases they were able to drive halfway and meet them halfway. That was pretty cool.
yeah,
They didn't have to make the whole trip. So that's pretty
absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
Uh, they do really, and I'm gonna hammer this because we're on this now, and I really love the work that they do at ARA, at Animal Rescue Alliance. I love the fact that they're trying to do something with all the strays and stuff that we have in this area, and it's a service that they provide. And you can ask anybody in this area. There's a bunch of strays, and they're trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
And the community supporting, they've been getting more support. I would love to see them get a lot more, be it monetary donations or item donations or whatever. Any way you can help them, it's important. They just had about 20 kittens spayed or neutered, and that is, even if they're getting a discount on it, that's still a lot of money coming out
A
of
lot of
pocket.
money. A lot of money.
And they're probably working out with somebody to get it done cheaper than you or I could get it done. But you don't have to pay to get it done when you adopt a cat from them or a dog.
That's right.
It's 110 for a cat, 175 for a dog, and no vet bill to go with it. You don't have to take them to the vet. And if you've taken an animal to the vet lately, you know what you're getting into if you got to walk in the door at the vet. I
Yeah.
mean, it's something dollars just to get the annual checkup for a cat. And at 110, and you ain't got to pay for spay neuter, you ain't got to pay for flea
I,
treatment. They're up to date on shots. Shoot,
I think we got the claws and couple one of the little thing done. Check. I think it was $130 or 160 or something. It was way up there.
I
Just
mean,
a
I don't
checkup.
look.
I get it. It's expensive.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw this out there too, y'all. Cats have claws for a reason. They don't need to be declawed. You trim them every once in a while. Get them a scratching post. Don't declaw them because they're not actually taking the claws out. They're actually maiming the cat by going up to the first knuckle and taking the toe off.
Yeah.
It's not a good procedure. It is not something that needs to be
I
done.
just no. I just mean the dog.
Yeah,
We got. Sometimes you got to trim them back.
yeah, yeah, and you can do that on cats too. But that's why you get scratchers for them and stuff like that. Don't have them maimed. Don't turn them into amputees. That's make it sound like they're going to be coming around in a wheelchair. But yeah, it's not a good thing. Let them keep their claws. You can work around that. So, all right, I'm off my soapbox.
It's all good. ARA.
Yeah,
Look them up.
all right. Support them.
Nothing, nothing else. Make a donation.
That's right.
It'll be greatly appreciated.
Yes, it will. All right. Anybody on X out there wants to sound off on us, y'all go ahead. We'd love to hear from you. Y'all, our email address is at the bottom. We got Facebook. We got YouTube. We got a group page on Facebook, y'all, called Cornbread Nation. Y'all hit us up. And we need to go ahead and do a Q&A show. We need to start setting that up and get it advertised.
We'll get that done. Absolutely. I'd like to see what people would present as questions.
Yes, I would too. That would be amazing. As long as your wife and my wife aren't there, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, we don't need questions from them.
Yeah, I can see it now. Why did you leave your underwear on the floor?
They know us too much.
Yeah. No. Why did you leave your underwear on the floor? Did you leave the toilet seat up again? No,
Yeah, we're not going there.
They wouldn't do us that way.
Way to go, Robert. You just gave them a couple of questions to ask us. Come on, man. Be smarter than that.
I'm hoping they're going to ask you, not me. Okay. All right. Well, we love y'all and God bless you. And we'll be back live on Wednesday morning.
Yeah. Morning show.
Hump Day morning live. Yes. Yes, we will be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. May not have bells on. We may have 2 or 3 cups of coffee with us, but we will be here.
That's right.
All right. You got anything else, Dave?
Just hey, you made it through Monday. You made it through, and we're glad you made it through a Monday. Now we're kind of in this week and tackle it and get on to the weekend.
Yeah, congratulations. You made it. All right. Love you. God bless you. And we'll see you Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock.